news. Rip into it. Raf got to see Arcade Fire this weekend instead of UFC 176, which means it's time for Verbal Tap, the show that proves fighting is way easier from outside the cage or inside the concert. We don't know why more fighters don't do it. Verbal Tap. I am your host, Kevin Phillips. With me, of course, Raf Esparza. Raf, how are you doing this evening?
Whoa. Are you telling me I didn't see UFC 176 yesterday?
I'm telling you did not see UFC 176.
Weird. I just thought it got all artistic and weirdly hipsterish with its audience vibe.
That would be a fun game to do with like a random group of people. Be like, see how long it took them to decide if it was an Arcade Fire concert or a UFC event. People might get genuinely 20 minutes into either or before they realized.
I will say this. I love the shit out of this band. They're an exciting band. They put on a great show, but there are some things you have to put up with. And
such as
hipsters.
That's it. That's your only.
It's a big component, but my fiance took out her cell phone to take a picture of us. And I swear to God, right after she did that, somebody maybe 2 rows behind us just goes, psh, selfies. And I'm literally dying in my seat. Just because it's exactly what you would expect. Is they're so over selfies.
Oh God, that was nicely done with the delivery because I could hear it and I hated it. Like I immediately, and I had the same reaction you do because my reaction is either, well, I have to go attack that person physically, or I have to laugh.
Thought about it. And I looked, and
Sure.
There was no question. There are a handful of people I could have taken at this concert. I'm not that human being, though, Kevin. I definitely know my surroundings, and that's the only reason I bring that up. But when he said that, it's more so I always think protective of Kelly, So I'm thinking protective of her, like, don't you dare insult her. But they're not insulting her. They're just insulting, like, man, I remember when I used to get my digital print selfies and I'd pick them up from the dark room that I exposed them in myself because, like, that's what I do. And I just immediately started laughing instead. But, and mind you, it was at the Forum here in Los Angeles, which the last time I was at the Forum, it was for Glory Kickboxing. So very different. And I was weirded out at first because they had a ring for Glory in the center. So getting used to seeing a stage set up again was really strange.
And I would just like to see you. The worst part about getting in a fight with a hipster surrounded by hipsters is they wouldn't even attack back with violence. They would just probably lecture you on like the ramifications that bullying can have later on in life. And that would be worse.
Serious? Is that what you're gonna do? You're gonna try to punch me?
Do you not know what it does to someone's self-esteem when you belittle them?
Yeah, you would lead with a jab. Okay, I guess. But anyway,
didn't
great
even
show.
Knock my hat off, you dude.
Great surroundings. The nice thing about it was my sister bought these tickets before the UFC announced that UFC 176 was going to be there, and it created a little bit of a moment when I had to call her and I go, hey, yeah, super excited about the show. No big. There's a UFC there, and I'm obviously going to the Arcade Fire, but whoa, that really sucks. It's like the time they're in Los Angeles, and I'd probably try and cover it or go, and you know what? I'm going to go to the concert. I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm not even going to check my phone. I'm just going to bring Kevin will do it. That's what we'll do. And as we got closer to it, not only was the Arcade Fire in town yesterday, but then Jay-Z and Beyonce was in town.
No way. The city must have been on gridlock.
Oh, yeah. And I almost feel more than the fight getting canceled for the main event, it might have been all of those factors together because I'll let you know, traffic was really easy to get to the Forum because everybody was going to Pasadena.
I'm sure. And the UFC, that's actually the best kept secret. They just knew Jay-Z called and was like, motherfucker, don't do this tonight. And so they stopped. You heard it
don't
here.
be my 100th problem. Ha.
You heard it here on Verbal Tap. Exclusive. Jay-Z canceled UFC 176. Raf, did you also see I was taking selfies with training? Just annoying the shit out of people in my gym.
Whatever. I mean, yeah, I guess.
So I'm also behind the times already, which is just perfectly evidenced by being 28. But obviously I'm not in that. We put a little video out, so if people in the jiu-jitsu community were ever wondering how to take selfies, which you probably weren't, while rolling,
but it's an important
on the website.
It's an important part of it. You know, like, Kev, we haven't done this yet, but I'm going to put up a pie chart that shows all of the different things that people do when they're training, like where their time is invested. And there's a huge part of that pie chart that reflects, drilling, sparring, group photos. Selfies are right up there too. So I think people need to know that pie chart needs to help them, for new people who may not know how to really, really take advantage of their time when they're training.
And anyone that's trained jiu-jitsu or been through any stripe or seminar type ceremony knows that there are a fuckload of pictures being taken. It really is no joke. There's a lot of pictures. So
the best is always at the end of class when everybody forgets how to take a photo. Like, for whatever reason, people go, should we take it under the banner? We probably should. Okay. So, where's the center of the banner? I don't know. Look at the two sides and go in the fucking middle. That's how
you guys smiling?
Are.
Are you guys smiling? Someone
holding
always
our
says it. What's the move? What's the pose? Have we made a decision? Oh, God.
My other favorite is, wait. So the advanced belts on the bottom? Yeah. Advanced belts on the bottom and everybody back, right? And
everyone always has to yell at a purple belt because he's in the back, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? You know the rules? This is not the first time we've done those pictures.
But jiu-jitsu people, we love you, we promise.
You guys are the best.
You're the best. You just learn how to take a fucking photo. That's all we're saying.
Oh man, it's so the fact this is how global jiu-jitsu is too. The fact that we don't train at the same gym almost ever, and we have the exact same problems at the end is just it's systemic of a larger cultural issue. And
Kev,
I look forward to an article.
It's not just our gyms; it's the other gyms I've been to too. I've been asked to be in photos at other gyms, and I've definitely just watched other people take photos, and it's. Without fail, it's what happens, and I don't know how to fix it, because especially when I'm guesting at someone else's gym, I don't take charge.
Yeah, you don't want to be the guy that
I'll offer to take the photo, and I'll go, yeah, let me go ahead and take it. And when I take the photo, the pictures are immaculate.
Obviously,
okay, I'm letting
they're condescending, but they're immaculate.
They're not condescending. I don't do that to people.
No, it's just your natural thumbprint you leave on the pictures.
How dare you? I will let you know this, Kevin. I'm only condescending to people who deserve it, and you happen to be one of them. So I don't know what to tell you.
Well, at least you're honest. So look out for those pictures. What else is going on? How was training this week?
Okay, it was good. I laughed really hard about this. We had somebody come visit VMAC this week, and I like to always try and be a very good partner defensively to people when they're trying out new stuff. And this guy, this purple belt, who's guesting at our gym, he gets this fucking mean grip for a cross collar choke. And I'm blocking it with the amount of strength that he's putting in. So it's like a really, really tense fucking grip on both sides. And I start to hear part of his gi rip, and I let it go. And I go, nope. Oh, no. I don't want to break his gi. Oh, no. Shit. Yeah. It got really weird. And I didn't want someone to come to our gym, get a ripped gi. So I gave him an advanced position from there. And he was just like, dude, you have good defense. And I was like, oh, thank you very much. And I wanted to be like, oh, my God.
I wish I could say the same about your gi, sir.
I hope your gi is okay, but I just shut up and was like, nope, yep, thank you, okay, bye.
Which I've actually ripped a gi before myself. Yeah, well, I blame Nick more and his flimsy gi than I do my own strength, but we definitely separated the lapel from the rest of the gi fabric.
That's mean.
It's crushing. It's like losing a member of the team.
Well, you
we
just
take our
feel
gear
bad
seriously.
because you know how much people pay for gis, and you know how much people like. If something happened to one of my gis, it's like one of my kids. You feel bad.
Have like a small service for it afterwards.
I mean, I'm not gonna go into that or dignify that with a response, but maybe.
You taught me how to Kimura. I'll never forget it.
I'll say the worst is I went to grab somebody's like pant leg, and I heard a slight tear, and I stopped for a second. This is like really early on in training, and I stared at their gi get ripped. And the person stared at it too, and then just looked up at me and kicked their leg and swept me, and I go, that's fair. That's fair.
Karma's real.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we love crazy training stories, people listening to Verbal Tap. Make sure you tweet us, Instagram us, or Facebook us yours. If they're good enough, we'll read them right here on Verbal Tap.
That's
crazy
true.
Training stories.
Or maybe we'll
We love
reenact them. Who knows?
it. Hey, a little
Yes.
drunk jiu-jitsu history. You never know.
And, you know, it's a good time. And I'm sure there's a handful of you guys who are out there. Not even a handful. I would say the majority. I feel we're in the minority on this because I feel the majority just goes, yeah, I fucking ripped the gi, but I wanted to get that fucking submission. So fuck them. They should buy a better gi.
Yeah, fuck his flimsy gi. That motherfucker was trying to choke me.
But it's such a nice looking gi. That was the worst part. Oh, it's so nice. And I just, nah.
And you know someone's going to rip it. Like, once it starts to go.
Well, you feel like you started the fire.
Yeah. God. Anyway, speaking of,
But then you realize it was
grappling.
always turning since the world's been burning.
I knew you were gonna. I was waiting for the lyrics to
JFK,
start.
blown away. What else do I have to say?
Did they do a little reenactment of some songs? A little
They always do.
remix?
Yep.
Perfect. They do a great work. We're, of course, now sponsoring Arcade Fire unofficially on this podcast, but that couldn't matter less. Raf, Metamoris is coming up. August 9th. It's going on in Los Angeles. We have got to do a 2-hour preview show.
We're not doing a 2-hour preview show.
Everyone else is doing a 2-hour preview show. I really think we should.
Kev, if everybody else put themselves into a triangle, would you put yourself into a triangle?
Yes, absolutely.
How about this? How about let's not spend an entire episode doing it. We obviously want to cover it. We love Metamoris. We're excited. We're
listening.
the most excited podcast about Metamoris.
10 out of 10.
Yep. And so maybe, why don't we find a different way of doing it?
I'm listening.
Okay. How about this? I, Kevin, am a master of nailing and landing on a dime when it comes to timed events.
Your record's super clear on that.
Thank
Your
you.
record couldn't be clearer.
Yep.
You stick to the time deadline that you set forth.
I believe that my record of 1-minute reviews speaks for itself. So there's that. But what if I were to tell you, Kevin, what if we could review Metamoris in 7 minutes?
I don't know if it can be done.
Well, first of all, that's where you're faulty. It can be done. And I don't know, maybe if there was some way we had some great segment name for it.
Oh, like 7 minutes in Metamoris?
Boom! We're going to it right now. That's right. Sit back, you fucks. We're going to review Metamoris and preview it because it hasn't happened yet. And we're going to tell you all the shit that's going to happen in 7 minutes. You can clock that shit. Kevin, are you ready?
I have hit start. Say who you think is going to win on 3. Andre Gal versus Chael Sonnen. You ready?
Okay.
1, 2,
2, 3.
Galvo.
Galvo. Now, why do you think
Do
Galvo's
we
going to
say
win?
it- Do we say it on 3? God, maybe we should have worked
I
these
did
details
it
out before
already.
we just jumped
You're
into
already
the
losing
game.
precious time. Go.
Okay, I think Galval's going to win because he's a superior jiu-jitsu ground grappler.
Don't say what makes you think that.
Chael Sonnen doesn't really have any experience in the submission milieu, So he's going to have to rely on a lot of wrestling, and Galval's dealt with that a lot. Why do you think Galval's going to win?
Well, I think Galval's going to win because Avi knows more jiu-jitsu than Chael Sonnen. However, I do feel he'll give him a little bit more like actual pressure. One of the nice things that I did read this week was the fact that they said that he's not going to do the same game plan as Brandon Schaub. So I'm a little more encouraged by that, but I still think Galval is going to get the win. How do you think he's going to win, though?
I'm just, first of all, super offended that you're calling Schaub's thing a game plan. That's my only problem with what you just said. I believe Galval is going to win by taking his back and modifying to an armbar from the back take.
Ooh, that's great. I was feeling an armbar until you said it, and then I started second guessing it. So now I'm going to have to go with something fucking crazy. Let's fucking call it, man, what if he got him with a footlock? What if he just, like, went out of his milieu and was like, fuck it, here we go.
2 seconds in. I love it. And here's a quick tip we got from Andrew. When you're trying to say Galval, hold your nose, and if you make your nose vibrate, Galval, you've said it right. It's the Galval. Makes
what
your
important
nose.
Analysis. Hey, what's the next fight we're going to talk about?
Dean Lister versus Josh Barnett. So
okay,
we'll say 1, 2, 3, and then we say the name.
We say the thing. Okay, ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Lister. Barnett.
Ooh, okay. Where are you going, Barnett?
Because it's fun, and I like a surprise, and frankly, maybe Barnett's gonna do something that'll submit Dean Lister. I doubt it, but if I'm the guy that guessed Dean Lister was going to lose when he did, I'm the guy that gets to put that somewhere on his body, I think, via tattoo. Why do you think Lister is going to win?
Wait, was your plan to tattoo yourself if you win? Isn't that normally what happens when you lose?
Now that you say that.
Okay, well, okay. That's a strange bet that you just made with yourself. Good luck with that. I'll say this. I feel like Dean Lister is just too bored to be submitted in life. However, Josh Barnett is a great opponent for him because it takes it down an avenue that we really haven't seen him go. I feel Josh is going to challenge him. To be fair, part of me was wondering, what if Josh Barnett sometimes has flashbacks and actually just puts him in a Boston Crab, and Dean Lister goes, this is new. All right, I'll tattoo this. I thought that would be hysterical. However, I don't see that realistically happening. Dean Lister, I feel, more than anybody, obviously footlocks. But if I got to say, it could go draw, but I feel Dean Lister.
I'm guessing Barnett via Boston Crab, just so I can pick something that you're going to be jealous of.
Sure.
How do you
take
believe
my analysis and do that?
I already wrote it down. It's taken.
All right.
How do you believe Lister will win the fight?
I just said footlock.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was too busy.
Keep up with me. We got to keep going. Go.
Saulo Ribeiro versus Rodrigo Comprido Medeiros.
I like both of these guys, but I'm going to go Saulo.
Ooh, I couldn't be more with you, and his video won me over.
Yeah?
When he gets in that ice
bath? Yeah.
Fuck yeah. So I think it's actually going to be Saulo via, and I'm going to go with a collar choke, a variation of a collar choke.
Yeah. We got an exclusive with Sanji's brother this week, and he definitely alluded to more of a paper cutter choke, if you would, or kind of a mounted choke, and so he would do that. So I'm not going to argue with Sanji.
No, that's good theory. Good message. He also brought Lovato in, which is awesome, to train with him a little bit for.
Oh, yeah.
Super. Wouldn't that be nice? It's like, I'm just going to bring in Rafael.
Well,
Lovato
you think about it. It's like, oh, yeah,
Sanji,
my brothers
Ribeiro.
fought in the first Metamoris, and no big. I got this guy who fought in the other Metamoris, so whatevs, cool.
He looks like he's in great shape. Okay, next fight. Keenan Cornelius versus Vinny Magalhaes. Let's say, okay, 1, 2, 3, and then the next. 3.
Keenan.
Vinny. You are forgetting. Vinny is the guy that tapped out Buchecha.
I haven't
got him on a nasty.
You forgot that the last time we did a preview video, and it only came relevant because we're going to do another preview for Around the Mat. That's right. This is a plug for Around the Mat. Go and watch that. It's going to be Kevin, myself, and some of our other idiot friends. But yes, he did do that. However, I feel that this is an increasingly different matchup for the both of them. Do I feel that Keenan could get submitted by him? Potentially. But Keenan's so elusive.
We've got one. He's so elusive. And what else is he so?
He's so hot right now.
He's so hot right now. We've got 1:20, and we
don't waste your time. Keep going.
I've got Flinny. Vinny via flying armbar, and then we'll call him Flinny.
Flinny. Flying armbar, Vinny. Yes, you just breathed.
You've got Keenan Howe.
I'm going to say Keenan. I would like to say if it was more gi-based that it would be the worm guard because that'd be hilarious. But let's say fucking, as much as I'd want it to be an Omoplana, I'm going to say Kimura. Why not?
Gary Tonin versus Kit Dale. 1,
2,
3.
Gary Tonin.
Kit Dale.
Okay, sorry. Why?
Everyone likes a crazy victory speech from Kit Dale. And, maybe the size is going to play a little factor over the G-tones.
Gary's not just some ridiculously small dude. I mean, he's pretty okay himself. How do you think he's going to win, though?
He is amazing. Oh, God, now you got me. It's going to be a choke.
What kind of choke?
Choke. That rear naked choke.
That's actually not a terrible decision, but I think it works better for Gary to win by rear naked
Who do you have?
I put Gary, and I think you'd win by rear naked choke because that's more realistic. But
that is same check, and Raf, that's time. That's beautiful.
Excellent. I think we covered all the matches, right?
No, we actually didn't cover one match, the secret match.
Oh.
But I don't know, and herein lies the only fault in the secret match logic.
Which is?
There's no way to preview or be excited for it. There's just speculation.
The hell there isn't. Put 1 minute on the clock. We're gonna fucking do this shit.
Okay. Putting 1 minute on the clock, and here it goes.
All right, Kevin, who do you think's in the secret match? Go.
Well, no, let's 1, 2, 3.
Someone
Glover.
named Gracie.
Okay, so I think somehow Jeff Glover's fighting.
Okay.
And that's who I'm taking, Jeff Glover.
Who do you think he's going to face?
Halleck.
Oh, that'd be great. What if Jeff Glover was in Halleck's backpack and then jumped out to attack him?
I think that would be the coolest fucking secret match announcement of all time.
I like it. I have an idea, but I'm going to save it for who realistically is in it for Around the Map, but we'll get to that. But for the purpose of this preview, let's say the following. What if, Kevin, and let's take this all the way out, what if they just pick 2 people in the fucking audience?
I think that's going to be it's possible.
Yeah. And I hope that whoever they do pick, they helicopter in. That's my only requirement.
Time. Perfect way to end that segment. That's that we hope they I can't imagine what more we would need to say. We're stoked about Metamoris. We're obviously going to be watching and covering via Twitter if you're looking to follow along at Verbal Tapcast. Don't forget to also leave us a little rating on iTunes.
5-star.
5-star. Let us know how much you love the podcast. And we are going to go talk to Mike Jasper. You ready to bring him on, Raf?
Yes, now I'm ready.
Okay, good. Thanks for the extra second.
I wasn't ready back then. It's all about timing. You learned nothing, Kevin?
Yeah. Something went off, and Raf said, I'm ready. Verbal Tap fans, we have one of our favorite bearded guests, which is a significant compliment in the MMA world. We have Mike Jasper. Mike, how are you doing this evening?
Doing well. I'm happy to be one of your favorite bearded guests, but now that beard vibe trending nationwide everywhere. So
hard. The competition has gotten more stiff.
Really?
You just dropped a little bit of
everybody seems to be repping these beards nowadays, man.
Fight game's changed, man. I remember when I used to be the one with the beard, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's start using that beer oiled as one of the sponsors. But Mike, you said you and Raf were just talking about this. You fought 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I did actually. It was I fought for WCK Muay Thai. I made my professional debut in a Muay Thai fight, and I had a good opponent in Jason Cadwell, and he had a lot more experience than I did, and it was a fun, tough fight, but ended up getting the win, and yeah, and on to the next one. Apparently, 3 weeks later, and a week today, are they?
That's what makes this crazy. To put it in context for people, you're fighting National Fight Allowance. National Fight Alliance. No, that'll be their new theme. That's a separate category. It's a teen youth outreach group, not what this is. You're fighting Nick Barnes in an MMA fight. It's just straight up MMA fight, not Muay Thai. Though, if you've never seen a Muay Thai fight, Jesus, they're violent. What are you crazy? What's going on?
No, I mean, yeah, no, all of the above. Basically, a few months ago, the NFA I had fought for them, multiple times. It's a local Southern California show, and basically prior to that, I wasn't too satisfied with my stand-up game. So what's the best way to go about that? Take a Muay Thai fight, and you still got that adrenaline going, and it's still all the stuff that you can use in MMA because it was a full rules Muay Thai fight. Knees, elbows, trips, everything, throws allowed, so it's all legit. And I figured I'd take that. And about halfway through that camp, NFA, who I was fighting for, this week, approached me with a fight, and within my backyard, so to say. And I said, yeah. And basically all it was is, hey, you come out healthy, we'll do the fight. If not, on to the next one. So I came out pretty much untouched as far as damage wise, and here we are. We're about 5 days away from getting back in the cage, so to speak.
Not so to speak. You're getting back in the fucking cage. A solid 2 weeks after.
What a great celebration to have. It's like, yay, you won this fight. Now you're just back in camp. So don't eat anything. Just shut up and get back to work.
Yeah, I mean, I was, well, the thing that was cool is once I kind of realized that this was going on, both people kind of worked together as far as weight-wise. Like, I had my Muay Thai fight, and they made it a catch weight at 180, so it was a lot easier to cut. I didn't have to do 2 gigantic cuts, 3 weeks back to back pretty much. And then my NFA actually gave me 2 extra pounds because of this. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, which 2 extra pounds doesn't sound like very much, but I'm gonna let you know at the end of a weight cut, 2 extra pounds is like at least $5,000 if you ask me. Like, I would happily take that any given day of the week.
I feel like your 2 extra pounds is like 20 pounds for the average person.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, it makes sense. I feel you.
I feel like, it'd be different. They should really have almost a Jenny Craig-esque celebration where everybody hugs you after you make weight. You're just like, yeah, you did it.
Yeah, man. It's this whole last few days, it's nothing but pretty much egg whites and spinach and some apples and protein shakes. That's about it. So my diet is super exciting. I really look forward to eating.
What specifically? And we only say that because
eating
in general.
Yeah, he's just like, I just look forward to eating again, whatever that was like.
No, yeah, I mean, it's basically my appetite just sucks these few weeks, but this is basically after I'm done, it's on, man. Bring on the In-N-Out Mexican food, whatever. All of the above.
All of that sounds delicious, actually. But I do have a question, though. Are you going to promise me right here and right now that the second you finish that fight, you aren't signing up for another fight in another week?
Hell no. I'm not fighting again until November, I think.
Oh, good. All right.
That's
I've
nice.
Got a little something on the table, which hopefully hopefully within the next 2 weeks I can announce, and then but yeah, it'll be I'm thinking it's going to be late November. We've already had some contact, and just hopefully it works out. But yeah, hell no, I'm taking some time off, man. I've been in training camp for 10 weeks now, and
Good.
it sucks.
Jeez. First of all, great teaser.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. That's fantastic. But number two, no means no this week, Mike. Somebody's going to come up and they're going to be like, "Hey, there's just a little grappling tournament next week. Can you practice that? Like, just even when someone gets you vulnerable, it's like, we'll have Oreos. Don't say yes. Be very cautious."
Yeah, that was the funny part is a couple of my buddies that I roll with, they're like, "Hey, man, there's a couple good tournaments coming up. Let's put that gi on and go down and compete." And I'm like, is it one a month or two? It's like one a month from now? Yeah, I'll take one a month from now.
These are great training partners. They clearly are pushing you in ways that is good, just maybe not the healthiest.
Unless they all have one of those honey pots where it's like, when can we break Mike Jasper? It's like, when can we get him to have like a real crying psycho fit that we can get on YouTube, and they just keep having to put money in the pot. Have you considered this, Mike, or you're pretty safe?
Yeah, man. It's definitely, we're boiling over here. I'm redlining, to say the least. But even my fiance wants to kill me. She's like, "No more training or no more fights after this for a little bit. You need to fucking break." So
there you go. It's like, I get moody when I can't have carbs. That's just the way it is. That's life. Talk to us about...
I enjoy some adult beverages, like everybody else, and I also like a mean cheeseburger and a slice of pizza. So that's unfortunately, we're not allowed to have any of those right now. So
yeah, Kev, I'm frankly insulted you're bringing up food still. So let's transition to talking about the fight, because the fight is interesting to me. I like Nick Barnes a lot. When he was on Fight Master, he seemed like somebody who was sane, so that put him in a category of, oh, he's interesting. Did you happen to see him on Fight Master at all when you were did you watch that?
Yeah, I watched it. The only reason I watched it is because me and my coach / training partner tried out for it, and we made it to the very end, and then like 2 days before we were supposed to leave to go to the show, it didn't work out, supposedly. So I wanted to kind of pay attention a little bit and see what the quality of talent was like, and what was going on.
And what did you think the quality of talent was like for it?
Yeah.
I thought it was decent. Nothing too crazy. It's kind of like a local. To me, it was more or less like a local circuit type deal. They set up Joe Riggs to mop that tournament up, if you ask me. No one else was on his level when it came to that show. But he did struggle a little bit on some of the fights. Once I saw he was on there, I was like, "There's no question he's not winning this show."
Yeah.
But I thought there was him, and then there was Cole Williams or something like that. I think it was one of the guys that actually beat Nick Barnes. I thought he was pretty solid. And there was a few other guys in there that were decent, but a lot of it wasn't what I expected it to be. It was pretty subpar.
Yeah, that's the nicest way. You're nicer than the critics were. That's good. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and overall the show, it was. The fights were decent to watch, but overall the quality of the actual show itself. I'm not shocked that there's not another one on right now. I would be shocked. I'd be shocked if another one started, to be honest.
What's that? You're shocked that Frank Shamrock and Randy Couture are now doing Gym Rescue and not a second season of Fight Master? Weird. I don't know.
I didn't even know that. Is that real?
Oh, it's for real. Oh my God. Mike, after this interview, I'm finding a way to send you a link to Gym Rescue, because somebody has the gall to want to get into a shoving match with Frank Shamrock and Randy Couture. So it's a train wreck waiting to happen, and I can't wait to live blog the shit out of it.
Bless their hearts, man. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah. The interesting thing about the show, because Kevin and I we're fans of fighting in general. It was frustrating to watch because you felt so much possibility with the coaches. But of course, even when you do get somebody like like when you get Riggs in there, it's just an insane feel and just in the training because you went there and I guess were you doing the pre-fights to get into the what is it, the house or whatever the hell they call it, the Louisiana cage that they had?
No, they pretty much had me and my coach in with interviews and everything was all good to go, and pretty much kind of, hey, you guys are pretty much in. And then when it came down to, all right, it's time to go, it was like, actually, we don't need you anymore. So,
Oh no!
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I mean, so I'm not. Let's just say I'm gonna go on a limb, and I didn't lose any sleep. So,
all right, that's a good way to go.
I was gonna say after watching it, you might have been better off. That's the only.
It's true. So now, I mean, you're familiar with Nick. Have you been keeping up with his fights? Have you guys been watching tape? What's your kind of assessment of him as a fighter?
Yeah, as far as tape goes, man, I played. Like you guys know from prior, I played football for like 15 years. So like watching tape and reviewing fighters is like, it's like my number one like tool. Like I can sit there and watch the same fight 6 times straight. Like it's fine with me. But yeah, I've watched plenty of his fights. He's not really too much access as far as previous fights. Fortunately for me, his Spike fights are all online for the Fight Master. And he's a grinder. The guy likes his double legs and singles. Stand up I think is decent. But yeah, I mean it just basically he likes to get that takedown and try to take the back and and submit you. And it's definitely something I've been working on. Even though I was in that Muay Thai camp, I was still doing full MMA sparring and jiu-jitsu and everything because that helped my cardio out for the Muay Thai fight anyways. So I never stopped the ground game, and I'm ready for whatever he wants to bring, man. I ain't worried about it.
Absolutely. What do you feel like has been the biggest evolution in your game since we last saw you fight?
I mean, I'd probably have to go with my stand-up and just more or less my confidence, along with overall everything. I mean, because I never really, I try to never just pinpoint one thing except for what I just did, and that was that Muay Thai deal. And I worked, probably like 65, 35 stand up to ground and wrestling and whatnot. So I really tried to sharpen it compared to normally when I do like 50-50. So I think that since the last time I talked to you guys, I would say, my stand up and my confidence has gotten, a little better, and which is what I wanted. I always try to make the fight standing as it is, but I just wanted that little extra boost and confidence and get my footwork down on, right on par, and just always never want to stay stagnant. That's my goal.
Hell yeah. And you've been one of those people that's just always been training everything anyway.
Yeah. I never really kind of just did, hey, I'm going to do jiu-jitsu. Like I came in doing MMA. So it's actually kind of helped me out. And I get bored doing one thing too much. So it's like I like to switch it up, and it keeps you more interested. And then all of a sudden 2 days went by and you didn't do any jiu-jitsu. You start to miss it. Now let's go back to the ground. It's like you sit there and you just each day you're doing something different. And I think it keeps you fresh and not going so just mind-numbing with, training this every day.
Absolutely. And you, just to clarify for people, so you're going to be fighting at 172, but you're down because you had fought when we first were introduced you on a national stage, was more the 185. How do you feel at the new weight level?
The fight will actually be at 173, but this will be my third time 173 or below. And, I mean, this is where I'm at right now. My weight cut is the lowest I've ever been, less than a week out. So it's kind of one of those things, where just every time you do it, you get better at it. And my first weight cut was pretty tough. The second one was even harder for some reason. With this third one, it's like I feel that like I kind of mixed the two together because the first time was decent and the second one was hard, and picked up what I kind of did wrong in both of them, and then I put it in one for this one. And so far, it seems to be working, man. I feel strong. I have plenty of energy. I'm good to go. And I mean, I still work. Like I said, I'm still working 40 hours a week. So doing that plus camp and eating this little bit that I am, it's still good to go. But it's got that Dolce diet that I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes the actual being in the cage seem not quite as bad. It's actually the week before without the food that tends to be the. But you'll be able to rehydrate and get in the cage. What's your game plan? What are you trying to do? You always come out swinging as hard as anyone in the game. You're going to try and knock him out early?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. To me, it really don't matter. I feel comfortable with him anywhere. In a lot of my fights, I've taken some guys down and finished them with some ground and pound elbows, whatnot. But this one, I think it could very well put him standing. A couple of his fights on Fight Master, which he's the seven or eight opponents that he's fought before that show or after or out of the show, let's say. I mean, weren't exactly winning record type guys, and the three guys that he fought on there, two of them, dropped him. So I mean, I feel that his chin can be tested, and I think that's what I'm going to try to do. It's just he's by no means a soft opponent. He's a grinder, so he can, even if you drop him, you got to get out there and finish it, because he can't come back and and win the fight, which he showed on that show twice. So you got to put him away. He's a tough guy.
Yeah, I mean it was really cool. Like, it was interesting to watch him. He was somebody we were friendly with. We were, because our job is mostly to make fun of these things, and he was one of the people who took it in stride. So we did like him, and that was one of the things that immediately intrigued me about this fight when I saw that the two of you were matched up, just because I was like, I know how you grind, I know how he works. So just even on paper, it looks like a good fight. You're fighting at Invasion number 4, but I do have a question here, because the Underground has you. This is one of my favorite things. The Underground has you here, and I don't know if you look at it, but we do. There was a fight that was supposed to happen September 7th, 2012. And for whatever reason, Valley Invasion 3 happened a year later, and it's still on there, and it says to be determined on there. So I guess what I'm saying is, have you been ducking TBD, or is there an opponent named TBD that I don't know of?
Yeah, I haven't been on Underground in a minute, but I don't even know what the deal with that. There was they won the 3. I can't remember what it was. I think I ended up taking a fight with somebody else, so this didn't work out, and they just haven't updated their card yet. I don't know what that deal is.
I don't know why, but like
whoever TBD is, I'm down. If you only want to cut to 170, let's do this.
It's just so funny, because I love how sometimes every one of these fights can like be updated the second after it's done, but for whatever reason that's just still there. And I was like, did I miss a fight? Did I not know a fight? No, that just happened against Lee Chapman the year later.
Yeah, to be determined. You never know when he's going to show up.
So what is it? I mean, you're fighting here. I don't even remember. Is Nick Barnes from here? Do you have hometown essentially advantage on this?
Yeah, it's definitely my hometown area. I mean, it's about 20 minutes from my house, 30 minutes. But he's from San Diego, so he's coming up about 4 hours or so. It's not really a far commute or anything, but I'm definitely I got a decent amount of fans coming, man. It's there'll be over 125 of my friends there, and they're gonna get their money's worth. I can tell you that, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm not sure whether me straddling the cage with my hands in the air after victory, or the meals that will come after that consecutive days on end are more exciting.
Nick, I love that part of your celebration right now is just massive amounts of food. And I've got to ask this because I don't want to harp on the food too much, but take me to
Don't bother me.
All right. Well, I just try and be a decent human being about this, because you're doing a damn hard job doing that. But walk me through it. What is the first thing you eat right after the fight?
Usually, I mean, it sounds horrible and it's probably bad of me, but it's not really much that night because my buddies end up having a beer in my hand before I even get out of the cage, really. So it's kind of, but no, usually it ends up being a cheeseburger, man. I don't know what it is. That's got my weak spot, but I usually have a nice little ritual, where usually get something just greasy and terrible that night, and then the next day, go out, get a breakfast burrito, and then for lunch maybe go get some pizza. Usually dinner I'll go back out, maybe get some more Mexican food. So it's I usually try not to eat at my house for like 2 or 3 days. I want to go buy everything. That's terrible.
I was about to say, I was like, with all those friends who are coming to see your fight, it sounds like you're literally calling each one of them and saying, do you want to go get something to eat after you finish with the next?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like when we have lunch at In-N-Out, I'm like, hey, do you want to have, dinner at Toppers later, pizza?
I do love that. I'm such a fan of that, but I do have to ask this. They hand you a beer as soon as you hand out the cage, like literal, like going up to you and being like, hey, good job, here's a beer, Heineken, show the label, sponsorship.
I mean, it doesn't happen every time, but it's happened before. It's usually none of like my really good friends. It's usually just some like randoms, like, yeah, great fight, bro. And then here's a beer. I'm like, I kind of want some water first, and ice my head. I'll be back in like 10 minutes, guys. Don't worry about it. I'll get my fair share of beers after the fight.
Well, now I think I know what to do. I think I know. Hopefully we'll know somebody at the fight, but I'll be like, whatever you do, give Jasper a fucking beer.
Guy.
Don't give him water.
Yeah.
He's going to ask for water, but he doesn't know what's good for him. I know what's good for him.
Yeah, it's a nice, cold adult beverage.
That'll be perfect. The fight is August 8th, Werner Center, Marriott, Woodland Hills, California. Mike Jasper is taking on Nick Barnes. Does that sound all right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think it's like I said, man. If people haven't got their tickets, you can go on and get them, and I think it's going to be a hell of a fight, man. I have no doubt in my mind that it's going to be his first L, and I'm moving on to 8-1, and we're trying to get this ball rolling again, man.
And can we take care of any sponsors for you? Anybody who's paying the bills, helping you out to be the best fighter you can be?
Yeah, a couple I can throw out for this fight I got coming up. The Contract Killer, Caveman Coffee, Red Dragon Apparel, Mako Surf Camp. What else we got going on here? Combat Corner. Gamma Labs as well. My gyms, Elite MMA and West Coast Jiu-Jitsu. So, if I forgot anybody, I'm sorry. I just,
Don't worry. You could just say, I'm fighting and cutting weight. What? God, my memory is so bad.
Who can keep track of things?
I will tell you this, though. I got 2 things for you on that. One, I think we're missing a failed opportunity to get you some food sponsors. Like, I think we really need to work on that. So not to harp on it, but I like the idea of them sponsoring you the day after a fight.
Oh, 100%. Like if I could get like an In-N-Out sponsor or like a pizza place, they'd be the best sponsor. I don't even want any money from you. Just let me eat afterwards. Yeah. So if there's anybody out there that runs a local burger joint or a pizza place in the Southern California area and they want to sponsor a fighter to get fat after his fights, I'm your guy.
You heard it here. The bearded Mike Jasper will have dinner with the locals for a mere price of a burger. Mike, we're excited to see you fight, and we really appreciate you stopping back by the podcast, especially on a week where you're right in between fights, oddly enough, and right at those tough few days as you head in. So thanks very much for being here tonight.
Hey, no problem, man. My pleasure. And, don't be shy. I'll come on again, maybe after this fight, discuss how the fight went and whatnot, and keep this ball rolling.
Yeah, we can all just have like a video chat meal. Everyone will just bring their favorite stuff to the table, and we'll be good to go.
Yeah, I'll be able to talk really, really quick too because I'll be done with my meal in like 5 seconds, just plowing through it.
It's gonna be Mike hosting the show while the two of us eat, ever so gentleman-like. Mike's just
Yeah,
like, you fucking idiots.
I'll probably have to leave the show to go back for more food though. So,
Verbal Tap fans, Mike Jasper.
I don't think, guys.
Yeah, it's fucking
Well, it's my brain. That's the way it works. I'm multitasking, Kevin. Don't work me up again.
I'll do my best. Hey, Verbal Tap fans, Metamoris in 7 minutes with a little kicker of the secret match, but I do believe that falls outside the parameters of 7 minutes in Metamoris until we know it's happening and it's tangible.
Outside of the ring, but the submission was still on, so that's why we had the extra minute.
Perfect. If I don't follow that metaphor that deeply, but that's my own problem. Beautiful wrap up. We had Mike Jasper on to talk about his favorite foods, our favorite foods, and
Mike Jasper on to be tortured is what we did.
Just to torture him for almost 24 minutes.
He said he was okay.
It's our idea of fun. Hey, he's fought twice in 3 weeks. I think it was a good wake up call to be like, Mike, promise us you will not confirm another fight this week. Absolutely not.
We're a really good intervention show.
Ooh. Fighter intervention.
Intervention. Yeah.
We should call Spike.
Nope.
They'll do anything. So that's going to do it for us tonight here at Verbal Tap. But of course, we've got to do some shout outs.
Let's do it.
I will start. Big thanks to Marcus and Karen. Came out to the comedy show last night out in Bethesda, Maryland. Always good to have some jiu-jitsu backup when you're telling jokes in new territory. You know, someone takes offense. Good to have some people in your corner. Also just good to have people you can threaten to choke to vote for you. And friendly faces in the audience. Always helpful. So big thanks to them.
Those two things go together. Hey, vote for me. Things. Friendly faces, but they'll kill you.
I will choke you. I know where you train. I know what your weaknesses are, and I will hunt you down. But thanks for coming, guys. Mm-hmm. You're amazing.
Tip your waitress, everybody.
Everybody. BJJ Finder over there, and BJJ MMA Academy in Chantilly. Thanks for tolerating my selfie shoots and some video work we've been doing to try and add more elements to our YouTube channel. Big thanks to them out there. Had some great lessons. Andrew's doing some serious 50-50 attacks over the past week. That's been amazing. And that is going to do it for me, Raf.
Cool. I also want to thank the good people over at BJJ and MMA Academy. You don't have a thing for them?
I don't have it.
It's your own gym, you told. How do you not have something for them?
It's a lot harder. There's
too many syllables.
I'll work on it.
I want to thank you guys for tolerating Kevin as well. So thanks, you guys. Yeah. I know how hard it can be. Trust me. It's not easy, but you guys made him look very funny in that video. So thank you guys for helping us out. That's really cool of you guys. I also want to send a big shout out over to Higher Ground Jiu-Jitsu. I went to go cover a Shanji Hibero seminar that was awesome. Kev, and I this is how great it was. I messaged Kevin as soon as it was over because not only was it a great interview with Shanji, but he was teaching stuff that felt so important to my game. And my game is a very weird and specific kind of BJJ play, but it was really cool to watch him do things and go, oh, cool. Yeah, I kind of do that, except you do the, real version. You do the competent version. Oh, that's great. That's what I should do. So my compliments to him, the good people over there. It was so much fun, and I really liked seeing them train and working in with a lot of the guys. Super helpful. So my thanks to them. I really
wanted him to break your arm. I really wanted him to just maybe make it hurt a little bit.
What Kevin's alluding to is in the interview with Shanji, I was in the middle of making a joke, and Shanji takes a second, like a true comic would, and grabs my arm, but jokingly. And I don't know if you know this about Shanji. Strong dude. Good grip. Jiu-jitsu black belt.
Yeah.
So when he grabs your arm, you immediately feel pressure on it, but then he lets it go like, ha, ha, I wasn't going to wrist lock you or armbar you or do anything to you. It just felt like it.
Just needed you to know I could.
Yep. So that was terrifying, and it's one of the few times ever in an interview with somebody's threatened to do that. But yeah, so I'll have that to remember and tell people that I shat my pants when that happens. So it's a great thing to tell the kids later on. So I want to thank them. I also want to thank my sister, Kev. I don't know if you know this, but my sister bought the tickets to Arcade Fire, and we went with her boyfriend yesterday, and she has been such a huge proponent of me forever. But the reason why I wanted to shout her out today is not just for taking us to a concert, but she has been listening to our podcasts and has zero interest in jiu-jitsu or anything like that. But I told her one day, she just goes, yeah, the podcast is going well. She goes, oh my God, Kit Dale is so funny. And that's a really random thing to hear from your sister. So she had told me how she's been listening to him on her iPad and how she's a big fan of the show. She doesn't care much for you, but she's happy to support me. And
I feel the same way.
Yeah, I know. Most people do. But no, she actually had really nice things to say about you. She's like, Kev's funny. And I was like, I know. I set him up a lot. I know.
Proof working around anyone works, big sis. Am I right?
Right. And no, she's been such a delight, and that was such a great thing to have her go out of her way to do that. She's one of the best influences in my life, and one of my best friends. So just hearing her do that stuff really, really meant a lot. I also want to shout out the good people over at Valley Martial Arts Center.
CAMV. Wait, do it the other way. VMAC.
What?
CAMV. VMAC.
I get the spelling.
Scream it.
Not bad at it.
Live by it.
What was the sound you just played?
Oh, that was Magic Blast from my iPhone app.
You know what the weird part is? I normally hate when you do it, but I actually really liked you doing that one.
Thank you. I was trying to add a little extra dimension.
Too bad.
Doing a lot of these podcasts. Doing a lot of them.
Version of that every time, and you can't do it again. So,
yeah.
That was great. I like that one. Let me see who I could shout out this week. There's a guy named Varjun at our gym, and some people call him Var10, some people call him Varjun. He spells his name crazy different. But he is one of the slowest jiu-jitsu guys who, when he moves, he doesn't move a lot. But he is definitely that definition of, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And he is the most technical precision person that you do jiu-jitsu with. And he's been so helpful with me. Like, his game is so interesting to play when you're rolling with him. And it's really helpful. And he's been really cool in telling me some of his tricks and how he does certain things. So I love rolling with him. He's one of the best guys to train with. So I want to give him a big shout out. He's been very helpful with my game recently. So I think that'll do it for my shout outs. Oh, wait, no, one big one, Kevin. I want to send a big shout out to Joey Diaz. This has been a crazy week, Kev, between Hickson and being on Joey D's podcast and interviewing Shanji. It's been an insane week of interviews and talking with people. And Joey D brought me on his show, The Church of What's Happening Now. If you guys haven't heard it yet, please go check it out. It is one of the funnest experiences I've ever had. And the way the guy does his podcast, like, we look like amateurs comparatively to him doing his even shout outs for his sponsors on his show, because that's art. That fucking shit. He got put on a rant and he was just nailing comedy. And I echoed some nice sentiments from you to him as well for comedy. But man, just a great experience. And we've gotten so much love, and we've gotten people who said that they're going to start jiu-jitsu because they listened to the podcast with Joey, and they said that his tale was really inspirational to them. I got more people checking out a couple of my articles who said that they really, really enjoyed them. So to all those people, we want to say thank you guys. We feel the love definitely here, and definitely to Jamila Burden, or Burdon. I'm sorry if I'm ruining your name, but your handle name says MJJ student, which, if that's Michael Jackson, we're already good friends. But you sent a really nice note to us this week, and I want to say thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, really good professional week for us here at the Verbal Tap. And to everybody who makes that possible and supports us, thank you guys very much.
That's going to do it for us tonight here at Verbal Tap. Join in the fun on Twitter at Verbal Tapcast, on Instagram, on Facebook, on iTunes. We want your feedback and your ratings. That's going to do it for us. I'm Kevin. Thanks for listening.
Good night and 5 stars.
That was beautiful. I was missing some sitcom analogy, but otherwise, great episode.
These are the moments when it is good that we don't do the podcast in the same studio.